My name's Clancy and I'm here on the first day of the important UN Climate Summit in Durban, South Africa, and the feeling amongst delegates is really kind of emotional and passionate. There's lots of great energy on this first day of this really important meeting. I'm optimistic, but I'm really keen to hear from Bertha, who works with the GCCA, one of our partner organisations, about your hopes for Durban and the hopes of African civil society more broadly.
We are here in Durban. Durban, which is the center of the industrial pollution, the center of where a lot of the health impacts are felt in Durban, and a lot of people here have very high expectations. What they are looking forward to is that Durban delivers, especially on the second commitment, that is of the Kyoto Protocol, because a lot of people are unhappy with the low ambition of most of the developed countries, and we are hoping that Durban will deliver on a second commitment. If that does not happen, which is likely not to happen, a lot of people are looking forward at least for a mandate that at least a legally binding deal can be concluded around 2015, and then it can be implemented around 2018. But this is not exactly what people would have wanted. People would want to secure the Kyoto Protocol right now. And in terms of one burning issue where a lot of the civil society people are really expecting is to ensure that the GCF, that is the Green Climate Fund, is really funded. What they're looking at is looking at a pass without any money at all. And most of the people in Africa are really looking forward to the capitalization of the GCF. Those are some of the high expectations. Thirdly, Africans are also not just looking at Durban as the final thing about climate change. What they are looking for is also to ensure that they build up this climate movement so that they will continue to demand from their government mitigation as well as proper adaptation policies in this country. So those are some of the, I'll say in three, the high expectations from civil society: securing the future of the Kyoto Protocol, and secondly, finance, ensuring that there's some money in the purse, and thirdly, that this climate movement, this Durban COP17, leaves a legacy where we build a strong, sustainable movement on climate change.
Fantastic, thanks for that, Bertha. We also know that the Australian government is going to play a really important role, and I'm quite optimistic they can take some important next steps in dealing with climate change, similar to the ones that you've outlined around keeping the Kyoto Protocol alive, but also ensuring that the Green Climate Fund is up and running. Do you think there'll be any talk around sort of innovative sources of finance, maybe the Robin Hood tax or bunkers at this particular meeting?
I think that is also on the agenda, and a lot of people they would want to see that the bunkers become also part of the source of taxation. People are worried with the American stance on issues of bunkers and also long-term finance, but we are hoping that those are some of the areas where we, as civil society, would want to put pressure on, especially even also on the South African government. The Minister of Finance, Mr. Trevor Manuel, has been quite accommodating on issues of other sources of finance, so we are looking forward to do a positive development in that area. And as civil society, we are also willing to network and put pressure and do a number of stunts on that as well to ensure that that becomes some of our sources of finance, because we really need a purse which is full of money. And a lot of Africans, as you can see already, especially in Durban, that's where most of the suffering, the impacts, the greatest impacts are actually felt in Durban, in terms of the droughts, in terms of the diseases, in terms of floods. Durban faces all that, and we are hoping that we have sustainable sources of finance that ensures that adaptation and other issues of resilience towards climate change can happen here in Durban.
Fantastic, Bertha. So you've heard about the energy and kind of expectations on day one. Tomorrow, day two, the action really begins with big negotiating sessions happening around the future of the Kyoto Protocol and also those important issues we just talked about, including the Green Climate Fund. So stay tuned for more updates from the Oxfam team and UN Climate Trackers more broadly. Thank you.